Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to do TS Eliot's poem called Hippopotamus. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. TS Eliot, also known as Thomas Stearns Eliot, was born in 1888 and he was an American-British poet, essayist, playwright and a literary critic. He is considered one of the most important poets of the 20th century, known for his influence on modernist poems. Eliot's works often explore the themes of disillusionment, spiritual crisis, and the fragmentation of modern life. His poetry is characterized by its innovative use of language, complex symbolism, and rich allusions to literature, religion, and culture. The poem The Hippopotamus was first published in the year 1917 in Eliot's collection of poems called Proofrock and Other Observations. This poem was written during a period of great turmoil or disturbance in the world, with World War I, which was going on in the background. The poem's context is significant as it reflects Eliot's disillusionment with the modern world and his exploitation of spiritual themes in a time of crisis. His deep religious beliefs, influenced by his conversion to Anglicanism, also play a significant role in shaping the themes and imagery of the poem. So the central message of the hippopotamus revolves around the contrast between the physical frailty of earthly existence, represented by the hippopotamus, and the enduring strength and spiritual certainty of the church. Through this contrast, the poet explores the themes of faith, redemption, and the transcendent power of divine grace over earthly limitations. That is, the ultimate truth is God. Human beings are running behind materialistic things and other such luxuries, but ultimately it is we who need to have unshakable rock of faith which will help us to survive in this world. So now let us discuss the detailed stanza-wise meaning of the poem. Stanza 1. The broad-backed hippopotamus rests on his belly in the mud. Although he seems so firm to us, he is merely flesh and blood. So in the opening stanza, the poet introduces the hippopotamus as a symbol of earthly existence. The hippo, despite its appearance of being strong and solidly built, is ultimately just flesh and blood, emphasizing how frail, how impermanent is physical life. This sets up the contrast between the hippopotamus and the church, which represents spiritual truth and permanence. Stanza 2. Flesh and blood is weak and frail, susceptible to nervous shock, while the true church can never fail, for it is based upon a rock. So the poet contrasts the weakness of flesh and blood with the strength and steadfastness of the true church, which he suggests is founded on a rock-solid faith. The church, unlike the mortal human beings, is immune to failure or collapse because of its divine foundation, because it has the power of God associated with it. Church and its foundation can never collapse. Stanza 3. The hippo's feeble steps may err in compassing material ends, while the true church never stir to gather in its dividends. So here the poet highlights the aimless wandering of the hippopotamus in order to pursue the material desires, just like human beings who run behind materialistic things instead of showing gratitude for the true pleasures of life. And this is contrasted with the unchanging and unmoving nature of the true church. While the hippo may falter in its pursuit of worldly gains, for us human beings also, our goals change so quickly. Today we want to perhaps buy an X car, maybe Kia Seltos, and tomorrow if we see a better model of a Mercedes car, our aim quickly shifts to that. This is when we are running behind the materialistic pursuits. But the church remains constant and unwavering in its spiritual mission. Stanza 4. The Potamus can never reach the mango on the mango tree, but fruits of pomegranate and peach refresh the church from oversea. So the inability of the hippopotamus to reach the top, the tall mango trees on the tree, symbolizes the limitations of earthly desires and pleasures. That is, even though we think we are capable of running behind some materialistic goals and we will be able to achieve it, human beings are subjected to limitations. You will see a person's health may deteriorate, or the luck may not favor, and you will not be able to get what you were really wanting, or a sudden unexpected expense may come your way of buying that expensive luxury car. In contrast, the fruits of pomegranate and peach, which refresh the church, represent the spiritual sustenance and fulfillment that can come from divine sources. That is, ultimately you need to have strong faith in God, which is what is going to help you to move towards achieving the true happiness of life. Stanza 5. At mating time, the hippo's voice betrays inflexions hoarse and odd, but every week we hear rejoice the church at being one with God. So the poet contrasts the harsh sounds of the hippopotamus voice with the joyful harmonies of the church. While the hippo cries and the sound may be erratic, it may be unpleasant to hear, the church rejoices in its unity with God, symbolizing the harmony and spiritual fulfillment which can come from faith. Now imagine this, that you are tired of the constant noise in this world, the sound on the road, the sound in your office, the sound in your school or your workplace, right? What do? We turn to God, we go and pray in a temple, in a church, in a mosque, whichever religion we believe in, or we just want to sit quietly in our house and pray to God. Why? Because that sound of peace which comes when you are praying to God is something that satisfies you and calms you down. So the poet is directing our energy to how we must consider the church, the God, as important. Stanza 6. The hippopotamus's day is passed in sleep, at night he hunts. God works in a mysterious way. The church can sleep and feed at once. So the poet portrays the hippopotamus as consumed by the mundane pursuits, contrasting it to the restless activity with the serene and nourishing presence of God in the church. While the hippopotamus must hunt for sustenance, the church finds spiritual nourishment even in moments of rest. That is, even though the church works, we can say day and night, still it works in a way that it provides spiritual nourishment at any time of the day. While the hippopotamus, on the other hand, has to divide its activities based on the time of the day. Stanza 7. I saw the potamus take wing, ascending from the damp savannas, and choiring angels round him sing the praise of God in loud hosannas. In this stanza, the poet uses imagery to depict the hippopotamus transcending its earthly limitations and moving beyond into the realm of the divine. The image of angels singing around the hippo symbolizes the spiritual transformation and redemption that comes from God's grace. That is, when the hippopotamus realizes that it must acknowledge the presence of God, it is going to receive the blessings and grace of God. The hippopotamus over here, remember, symbolizes how human beings need to connect with God. And remember, in the beginning I told you about the World War I and the kind of chaos and disturbance that was there in the real world. So perhaps the intention of the poet is to direct the energy of the people towards God, so that they would be able to find peace amidst the chaotic situation that they were in at that time. Blood of the Lamb shall wash him clean, and him shall heavenly arms enfold. Among the saints he shall be seen performing on a harp of gold. So Eliot over here evokes the Christian imagery of redemption and salvation, suggesting that even the lowliest of creatures like the hippopotamus can be purified through the blood of Christ. The hippo, once cleansed, will be embraced by heavenly beings and join the rank of saints in eternal worship. Final stanza. He shall be washed as white as snow by all the martyred virgins kissed, while the true church remains below, wrapped in the old miasmal mist. So in the final stanza, the poet contrasts the purity and transcendence of the hippopotamus with the earthly struggles of the church. While the hippo is cleansed and kissed by the martyred virgins, symbolizing the divine grace and purity, the church remains shrouded in the miasmal mist of earthly existence, yet striving towards spiritual enlightenment. To discuss the major themes of this poem, Eliot explores the limitations and impermanence of physical life symbolized by the hippopotamus. Throughout the imagery of the true church, Eliot celebrates the unshakable foundation of spiritual truth and divine grace. The poem also suggests that even the most mundane and insignificant creatures can find redemption through divine grace. And finally, Eliot juxtaposes the transient pursuits of material world with the eternal truth of faith and spirituality. The ultimate truth of life is God, is believing in God, having strong sense of faith, which will help you to survive in this world and get to understand the true meaning of life. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.